but we're going to be working again with our body, our spine, our rib cage, really to get some movement and some flexibility in the spine, in the rib cage, so that we're creating space for this really nice, fluid, flowing, efficient breathing. So we're going to start off in a standing position. So just bring your legs sort of hip width apart, just a comfortable standing position. And pop your hands on your abdomen, your belly. Again, if we focus in terms of Qigong, Tai Chi, this area in the lower abdomen is your lower Dantian. So seen as that physical energy center. So we're just connecting our focus, centering ourselves, if you like. And we'll start off again just by noticing the breath. So you're just feeling perhaps your abdomen just rising and falling just gently. We're not actually doing anything, we're just following the breath. And let's just count to yourself 4 breaths. So on the in-breath through the nose, easy in and out through the nose is 1. And then on the second in-breath, obviously, is 2. So just in your own time, just follow 4 breaths, just doing that silent count in your head. And then when you've completed that, just let the arms rest by the side, maybe give the fingers a little bit of a shake and the legs a little bit of a shake as well. Remembering when we're doing our breathing practice, however you want to think about it, is the fundamental element of good functional breathing in everyday life is to breathe in and out through the nose and breathe just the right volume of air that you need for what you're doing at that moment in time. When we are doing our breathing practice, we can exaggerate that, so we can take maybe a greater volume of air, but if we slow that breath down, you're not going to end up going into fight or flight or over breathing. We can breathe out through the mouth occasionally if it's for a specific intention, so for like clearing or relaxing or releasing any sort of like negative energy or tightness that you feel. So we don't just have to be thinking, oh, I need to just breathe through the nose all of the time. There's a big difference between breathing out through the mouth when you're out of control, almost like panting or gasping for air, to a deliberate. So we're going to add some of those deliberate exhales to some of the practice that we do today. And we're also going to add some exaggeration in how our body moves, particularly the spine moves, when we are actually breathing. So for this next little practice, pop your hand on your belly again, and then pop the other hand on the sternum, on that heart center. So now we're just going to increase the volume, but just really slow the breath down. So again, we're not over breathing. And I'm going to show you from the side. I just want you to slightly exaggerate the movement. So I want you to feel as if the spine is almost like rippling as you breathe in. So as you breathe in, tummy, ribs, chest. So I'm going to exaggerate it here, but it's almost like you're rippling the spine. So you're extending the spine. as you breathe in. Just watch that we're not forcing these ribs forwards and then compressing the lower back. So you want to feel as if you're extending upwards and backwards. So creating space through all of the vertebra. So really connecting to the ground, and at the same time energy down to the ground, energy up to the sky. So let's pop one hand on lower dantian, the other hand on the middle dantian or heart center or sternum, chest, however you want to think about it. And now we're just going to exaggerate the breath slightly. So it's a bigger volume in through the nose. Extend, lift from the crown, and then out through the nose. Belly, ribs, chest in through the nose, extend the spine, out through the nose. Bigger volume of breath in through the nose, nice and slow and smooth, out through the nose. In through the nose. See how slow and smooth you can make it. In through the nose. Extend, feel that natural pause at the top and then out through the nose. Two more like that, in through the nose. Natural pause or suspension as you swap and then out through the nose. Extend the spine, lengthen, open, create space. And out through the nose, and then just let the breath settle comfortably. Just breathe easy, let the arms rest by the side. So it's very much guiding the breath and deliberately slowing the breath there, deliberately increasing the volume of air, but not to the extent where you're increasing it so quickly that you put yourself into fight or flight, or we breathe too much air. So if you slow it down, you can breathe a bigger volume of air. Again, if you need to, just shake out the fingers, shake out the legs. We're going to do the same thing there, but when we come back to the end of the out breath through the nose and you get into that the place where you just go into a normal out breath, I want you to actually pull in your diaphragm. So we're going to use a little bit of a exhale through the mouth at the end of that normal out breath through the nose. So we're breathing in and breathing out. When you get to that point where you can then, so you're pulling in those upper abdominals to help almost like get rid of as much air as possible, and then allow that air to naturally enter the body. So let's do that all together. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed, the neck's relaxed. You can have a little bit of give in the knees. So we're breathing in, extending, breathing out through the nose. Get to the end of that normal exhale and then get rid of that extra air. Breathe in. Slow and smooth, extend, nice and tall, natural pause at the top. Breathe out, normal breath out through the nose. And then when you get to the end of that normal exhale, clearing any stress, any tension, normal breath in, nice and slow. Extend the spine, nice and tall through the spine. Natural pause at the top. Oh, sorry, I just blew out through the mouth. Breathe out through the nose. And let's do one more like that in your own time. And then just let the arms rest by the side. Just let the breath settle. And then give your legs a little bit of a shake and your fingers a little bit of a shake. In Qigong, the idea of that sort of like extra exhale is clearing negative energy or unblocking. And that's quite useful actually if we do need that release. So they're using that deliberate exhale out through the mouth. So it's a bit like a sigh or a bit like a release. Now, that's not to be confused with when you're looking at certain patterns of dysfunctional breathing, because quite often a sigh is considered dysfunctional breathing if it's done in everyday life and you're sighing a lot. So if it's chronic sighing, it could be a sign of dysfunctional breathing. But if we are using that sigh or using that deliberate intentional out breath, that's great for the intention of clearing, of relaxing and releasing. So now let's take our feet about shoulder width apart. So we're going just a little bit wider and we're doing a little bit of a dip in the knees. So really grounding from your lower dantian down, lifting and lengthening through the spine. And we're going to work on some spine rotation. We often think of the ribs and the diaphragm and this area of to breathe efficiently, but we want to make sure that the spine is nice and mobile. And also the rest of the body is working with the rib cage and the diaphragm, because if it's not, that's going to affect how you breathe. So we're going to work on just rotating through the spine. Now you're going to start with the hips. So let's just start with the hips. So you're just pushing one hip forwards and just let the arms relax. Now through this, just breathe easily in and out through the nose. So there's no particular guidance or control to your breathing pattern, but just breathe naturally in and out through the nose. And then build up the momentum. The head can go with it a little bit. But the key here again is to keep tall through the spine. So you're rotating, if you imagine the vertebrae through the spine, each of those vertebrae is rotating on top or below the other, and the space between those vertebrae. So if I'm here, we're not getting proper rotation. So you really want to feel as if almost like you're dangling from a string. So you're connected to the sky, connected to the energy above you, and at the same time you're really grounded through the feet. And you can just build up that momentum. So you might feel some nice release in the lower back, in the mid back, in the upper back, in the neck too. So just let those arms swing side to side, powering from the hips create the momentum. My arms are just coming along for the ride. I'm not actually physically using any muscles particularly to move my arms or my upper body. It's coming from the hips. And then you can just bend the elbows a little bit so you are tapping abdomen, lower back. Breathing easy, really focusing on just easy normal breathing in and out through the nose. And you can also bend the elbows and just bring, this is really going to hit the mic. So you're hitting those points just underneath the collarbone. Again, it's the momentum through the hips. I'm not physically overusing any muscles to lift my arms, just bending the elbows. And then you can even come up further and shoulder. Really good way of releasing any tension in the shoulders and the necks. Remember, keep going from the hips, and then you can come down again. So we're really creating space, getting the rib cage mobilized, getting the diaphragm working. And then you can go lower body, abdomen back. And then just slow it down. Walk your feet together. And really feel tall through the spine. So really focus on really connecting the breath down to that lower dantian. So you really feel centered and connected to the earth. And at the same time, you're energized, uplifted and connected to the sky. Nothing forced. And we're going to do a little movement forwards and backwards. So we start off by deliberately creating this movement. So you're just moving your center of gravity or your lower dantian forwards and you're taking it back. So it's a bit like a tree blowing in the wind. Again, just let the breath be easy, soft, rhythmical and through the nose. And once you've created this momentum, so you actually created that momentum, make it smaller but just allow it to happen. So you're not having to do anything. You can close your eyes if you want to close your eyes, or just keep a soft gaze in front. So it's almost like the rhythm of the breath, the rhythm through the body is just creating that movement forwards and backwards. And that really subtle movement, see if you can visualize that ripple or that wave through the spine as well. So I'll exaggerate the movement, I'll show you from the side, so almost as if you're rocking forwards, that spine extends, and as you come back, it just softens. So it extends and softens. I don't want you to do anything, I want you just to be aware of that, just to feel, can you get that extension, softening. So it's the smallest of movement, you're not doing anything, it's just happening. The shoulders are relaxed, back is relaxed, upper back is relaxed. You're strong and connected through the ground. You're breathing easy, you're breathing deep. Just the right volume of air that you need for what you're doing. Good. And then take a little rest there again and just shake out the hands. Shake out the legs. What I've been learning for myself in my own practice over the past few weeks, months, years, is how you can't separate different techniques. You can't separate breath from movement. So all we're doing today is focusing on breathing as we do some very easy Qigong style, fluid, functional, flow style movements. And we really do have to keep mobile, mobilize the spine, mobilize the back, because we tend to create keep a lot of tension in that spine, a lot of sitting, and we think, oh, we have to protect the spine, which of course we do have to protect the spine, but you don't want to overprotect the spine. So we want to create some fluidity and flow to our movement, because if we don't have fluidity and flow to our movement, we're not going to have fluidity and flow to our breath. So it's all interlinked, of course. So we're going to use that deliberate sigh out or exhale out now, just to release any tension. And we're going to work on that rotation through the spine again. I'll show you slowly. We start with palms up, and then we drop one arm behind, and you can come up on the heel of that back foot if you want to on this. And then, so we can go a little bit wider actually in your stance. Palms up again, and then we go the other way. And then up and the other way. So you breathe in here, and you can use a sigh out or a breath out. Little double bounce through the knee. So really getting rid of any tension. In through the nose. Feel that rotation through the spine. So again, all the time tall through the spine. So lift from the crown. Sweep in front and behind. In through the nose. So you're deliberately taking fuller breaths in. You're deliberately sighing, exhaling to release any blockages, any tension. Let go. Let go. And then slow it down. Nice and soft. Come back to stepping the feet together. And just take a moment now to feel tall and energized and flowing and good through the body. Close your eyes if you want to close your eyes, or just take a moment with that soft gaze ahead. Center yourself down, bring the breath down to the center, lengthen the spine upwards. And then give your body a little bit of a shake. Couple more stretches in inverted commas on the spine. So if you're familiar with yoga, if you're familiar with qigong, this is a really nice spine stretch. It's very much like the cat-cow in yoga, but you're doing it in standing. So we start off with our fists in this position. So arms up and fists in this position. And then you're going to take your feet a little bit wider. We're going to go into a bent knee. So all the time we keep a bent knee. And then we just bring the elbows back and down and extend the spine. And then you tuck the pelvis as you come into that flexed position. And then we open up. So it's a really exaggerated wave. Pull the shoulders down. And then into tucking the pelvis, so it's like the cat-cow, but it's standing. It's really nice. Extend, lift, 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 lift. You might get some creaks. Again, with all of these movements, like when we're doing the movement practice on a Thursday, it's not about pushing and forcing and straining. So you should be able to do this without strain. If you start to strain, you just do a smaller movement. So we're breathing in through the nose. We're breathing out through the nose. All in and out through the nose. In through the nose. So the movement is slowing the breath so you can take a bigger volume of air. Slow, 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 slow. Movement is following the breath. Extend. Contract. Keep going. I'm going to show you from the side. So you extend, tailbone bum sticks out a little bit, contract, round the back, tuck the pelvis underneath, extend, elbows down. This is so nice for the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, keeping the knees bent. Really keep connected to the ground. Breathe out. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in, extend, and breathe out. Contract, breathe in, and breathe out. Should feel good as well. And again, just come back to that standing position, tall through the spine. So let's do 1 more spine mobility practice stretch. This time we'll go sideways. So we will clasp the fingers, bring the arms up above the heads, so you're facing your palms to the sky. We can go a little bit wide on the feet again, and we're just going to reach and push up. So just lean over to, I'll mirror you, so lean over to the right, and then you breathe into this left side of the body. So breathe in, and breathe out, and then go the other way. Over to the left, breathe in, and breathe out, pushing those arms to the sky, keeping the shoulders down. Over to the right, breathe in, and breathe out. Over to the left, breathe in, and breathe out. And let's just go over to the right again and just hold that position but not the breath. So you're breathing, and you can take a little bit of bigger volume if you want to. You can use that out breath to clear whatever feels comfortable in this position. Lengthening upwards. Again, no stress, no strain. So it's not about stretching and forcing a stretch. It's about opening and breathing in to that side of the body. So you can just do easy nasal breathing if you want, or you can take a fuller breath and then come back to center. And we'll go over to the left. Same thing. Breathe in. Breathe how you need to. So you're holding the position but not the breath. And then come back to center and just bring the arms down by the side. So now we're going to do some shaking, and then we'll have a couple of minutes, or a minute, just to let the breath settle at the end of the session. So let's just start by bouncing the knees and shaking the hands. And let that shake go through the whole body. Neck, shoulders, lower back, mid-back space between the shoulders. Shake, 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 shake. And you can add that sigh out. So you're breathing in through the nose. And really let the shoulders go, let the head go a little bit. To really release any tension, and then just slow it down. Should feel maybe nice and tingly now. Really strong through the legs too. So now you can walk your feet together, and we can actually bring the feet close together. And we're just going to take a few moments just to let the breath calm. connecting to the ground, connecting to the sky. Really present in reality. So the future is a projection, the past, we've been there. This very moment in time is real. This is your reality. So feel the reality of your feet in contact with the ground. Bring awareness to your lower dantian, so you can just move slightly forwards and backwards, and then connect. Really strong legs, really grounded, stable, strong. And just lifting, energizing upwards, and just let that breath settle. Easy, soft, rhythmical breathing in and out through the nose. And then just give your hands a little bit of a shake, your legs a little bit of a shake, and we will finish there. If you have time, this is a really good time for you just to go and sit in quiet, just focusing on the breath for a few minutes if you have time to do that. If not, that is not a problem. Really thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thursday, similar thing, but we'll be focusing a little bit more on some of the movement aspects. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday and next week also if you can't make Thursday. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and have a